Before drivers used radios, racing flags were used to convey information to drivers on the racetrack that didn't have any communication with anyone else, and flag color meaning combinations were standardized so that drivers wouldn't have to learn different flags for different tracks and different racing series. When it comes to racing flags, most people are familiar with the checkered flag because it's pretty much all over everything. While many racing flags are plain, the checkered flag has a unique look that stands out and is easy to recognize by most people. Because of this, in many forms of entertainment media, the checkered flag is generally used to signal that a race is happening. The solid green flag is used to signal either the start of the race or continuing to race at full speed after a caution. A caution is signaled by a solid yellow flag. A caution can be full course or just part of the course. For most forms of oval track racing, it's always the full course, but in road courses you'll often see just a section of the track get a caution flag. When things get really bad though, they'll wave the red flag, which means come to a complete stop. Yellow or red flags can be waved for weather conditions because the cars and or the tires can't handle them. For example, during most NASCAR events, if bad weather comes all of a sudden, they'll typically wave the yellow flag, have the pace car come out, collect the field, bring the field down into the pit lane so that they could stop everyone there and have the drivers get out if they want. Speaking of drivers coming out during a red flag, nobody can work on a car during a red flag in most series events, and that includes the driver. And if you try to work on it anyway, you'll get a black flag, which is a disqualification. There are different levels of disqualification, and it will differ based on which racing series it is. There's also different variants of black flags, like an orange dot in the center of a black flag, which is a mechanical problem, or a black flag that is half white diagonally, and that is unsportsmanlike conduct. Usually the black flag is so that fans can see something is going on, because it's really hard to tell with a bunch of cars going under the flag stand at once who is actually getting that black flag, so they're going to contact the driver and or the team over the radio to let them know what's going on. Sometimes a black flag is the end of your race, which means you come into the pit lane and then pull off the track completely. Other times you'll come down pit lane and stay in your box until an official says you can go. It could be like a 10-second penalty or a 1-lap penalty. It's going to differ based on what the driver did, what the form of motorsport is, and so on. FIA also has a pink code 60 flag, which means no overtaking and slow down to 60 kilometers per hour or 37 miles per hour. A red and yellow striped flag with the stripes being vertical means that there is a harder to see track hazard such as oil, grease, coolant, sand, anything that can reduce traction on the track and cause a car to crash. The flag is normally held out straight instead of waved so that the drivers can see the stripes and tell what the flag is, and it's rocked back and forth if there's something like an animal on the track. The white flag can also have multiple meanings, but in most North American forms of motorsports, it's waved on the last lap as the drivers cross the start-finish line to indicate that you have one more lap to do what you got to do to win. In some series, on the first lap of practice or qualifying, they will wave a white flag from each of the stands that are occupied so drivers know which ones to look for. In Formula 1, during free practice sessions, the white flag will be used to warn drivers coming up on the pit area that there are drivers doing practice starts in the pits. NASCAR and IndyCar also use a black flag with a white X on it, which means that a driver is completely disqualified. A blue flag, or in NASCAR, a blue flag with a diagonal yellow stripe, means that lap-down cars need to make way for the leading cars. It's generally a warning to slower drivers that the leaders or other faster cars are coming up behind them and they need to move out of the way. A black and white checkered flag means the end of a session, which in the form of a race means the end of the race, but it can also mean the end of a practice session or qualifying session. NASCAR uses a green and white checkered flag to indicate the end of a session within the main race. I'll see you in the next Car Simplified video. Thanks for watching.